And welcome back to Pack Mentality. And today we have Coach Aaron on the podcast. We're going to get to know him a little bit better, his coaching style, a little bit of background on him, just so we get to know him better. So, Aaron, so great to have you on the show, buddy.
It's great to be on the show.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on. No, thank you. We're going to get right into it, but let's start with some warm-up questions just to kind of get you going. We're going to play this or that.
Yes, sir.
Luckily, ChatGPT was very kind to me, and I asked ChatGPT to bust out some questions for you for this one. So we'll see how this goes. I haven't read these yet, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Actually, I have. I lied. So never lift heavy again or never do conditioning again?
Never do conditioning again.
Wow. So you choose lifting.
I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
I think because you can always, I always like kind of have a back or some conditioning, like even if I don't do it for a while. I don't know why that is, but I feel like even if I don't train it very often, I can still have pretty good conditioning.
All right. There we go. Cool.
And then lifting heavy is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think I would choose lifting as well, just because, I don't know. I just can't bear the fact of losing muscle.
Sure.
Yeah. I just
Turn into marathon runners.
Yeah, exactly. I would just get too skinny. I get skinny when I don't work out a lot. All right. So next question. Train 7 days a week forever, or take a forced 2-week deload every month?
Man, these are really tough questions.
These are not easy.
Dude.
These are not easy.
But train 7 days a week.
I would take that too. You know, as much as I wouldn't mind a 2-week deload, because you can still work out, but it's a deload. But 2 weeks is a long deload.
It absolutely is.
All right.
And then you can also moderate intensity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Next one. Lose all your current strength or lose all your current conditioning?
Lose all my current conditioning.
I would take the same one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can rebuild that.
It takes forever to build strength.
It takes forever. It really does. It takes a long time. It took me like 10 years to get mediocre at strength.
Likewise.
Interesting. Okay. Only train snatch and clean and jerk forever, or never touch a barbell again?
Only snatch and clean and jerk.
Yeah, I agree. That one was kind of easy, because otherwise, like, I mean, that's still full body.
Yeah, and you're still doing all the general patterns.
Yeah, exactly. You're still hitting on all patterns. Okay, well, that was kind of an easy one. That was a good soft toss for you. Have elite athletes who don't listen, or beginners who do everything you say?
Beginners that do everything I say.
Yeah, I agree too. And then at the end, that was another easy one. Okay, we won't even need to go into that. We all know why. Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating as a coach to deal with anyone who just doesn't listen. You're like, why are you even here? Coach 1 person to the games or 100 people to life-changing transformations?
100 people.
I would take the games person. Just to be the opposite.
The notoriety.
I've already done the 100 people. I've done more than that, so I wanted to take the games person. Selfishly. Always feel under-recovered or never feel challenged again?
Always feel under-recovered.
Yeah, I always feel like that anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is my default state. Train with no music forever or only listen to country music forever?
No music.
I would take no music all day over country music. I know we're going to get a lot of hate for saying that, everybody, because we all know that all of you listening to this likes Morgan Wallen, and like, I don't even know who that is. I just found out who that was like yesterday. And I actually found out from a Limp Bizkit song.
From a Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, so Limp Bizkit just came out with a new single.
It's a country single?
No, it actually sounds like the stuff they came out in the 90s with, which I know a lot of you listen to this. It's like the new Nickelback, but which means that no one likes it but me. And I get made fun of for this. But they came out with a single called Making Love to Morgan Wallen.
All right, I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah. I mean, the entire song has nothing to do with Morgan Wallen, but the title, I think they did it just for like search engine stuff, which was intelligent to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's only like 2 lines in it at the very end. They're great. Morgan Wallen. Yeah. So I was like, okay, it's not bad. It's a good hype song for working out. But if you're into that sort of stuff from the early 2000s, new metal, which not many people are, but I am, because
I see that on the Spotify playlist.
Yeah. I'm really into the divorced dad rock, as the kids call it these days. But I'm not divorced, thank God. We'll keep it that way. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Don't listen to it too much.
All right. So now that we handled the music, one of the most controversial topics of all time, especially when it comes to fitness, we'll move on to never eat your favorite meal again or never hit another PR again.
Oh, no. I love food.
I love food too. This is a tough one.
It is. I'm going through the pros and cons right now. Oh, man. Well, you know what? Never eat my favorite food. because I don't think any one food is higher than the other. So is this one meal?
It's just one meal.
Oh yeah, get rid of it.
What is that? What is that said meal?
Okay, so I'm going between a couple things, but pizza jumped up to my head. So
Pizza, excellent choice.
So I think I could get rid of pizza if I
Really?
it's basically in my blood, in my DNA. But I think I could get rid of it, I just want the gains.
So I would give up the PRs. And my reason being is because at some point in my life, I'm going to never PR again.
That's
just
true.
based on age. But
True.
my favorite meal will be around forever till the day I die.
That's true.
So I will take that. I just personally, that's what I would take.
I'm hoping there's some PRs in my future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with you. There's still on. There'll be PRs for many, many more years. But a long enough timeline for me, I don't think I could give up pizza. Because that's on my list too. Or a burger and fries. Oh my God. And a milkshake. Let's not go into that either.
I was just gonna ask though, is it Shake Shack or In-N-Out?
I don't think I've ever had Shake Shack.
Dude, Shake Shack is real deal.
Is it good?
It's so good.
Yeah, In-N-Out's okay, but I could easily give up In-N-Out.
Okay.
There's plenty of other places I'd rather go than In-N-Out. I mean, I like the prices of In-N-Out, but there's other places I could go that I would like. Yeah, that I would probably enjoy better. But
I eat a lot of In-N-Out.
Okay, yeah, because right down the street,
Yeah.
it's delicious. It is very good. So be known for coaching legends or for building an unbeatable community.
It's like legends, you're gonna be around forever. Legends never die,
And you could still get community within those legends
for sure.
as well.
For sure. I'm gonna say legend.
Yeah, I'm gonna say legends as well if I had to go with one, because I mean, it depends on how you define community, because an unbeatable community, like, that's all kind of opinion.
There's gonna be a community around that legend.
Yeah, there's. I agree. Okay, that was kind of easy then. Have the perfect gym in terms of like equipment, but no team, or the perfect team but a rundown gym.
I think the perfect team.
Yeah, I'll take the perfect team all day. Yeah, I would even argue that, even at our gym, we could have some better, fancier stuff, but we're kind of limited on space. But we have a great team in place and we have great workouts. So
yeah.
So in the future,
and that's why you do it, right? Is for the people around you and have a good community.
Yeah.
And good vibes.
Yeah. Good vibes.
More important.
Way more important, especially because if it's just you by yourself with nice equipment, it's not as much fun. Even I don't care how nice the equipment is.
There's just like that.
There are gyms like that. Yeah, there are gyms like that. You're very right. Spend a year training elite athletes or a year transforming everyday parents.
Training elite athletes.
Yeah.
That listen though.
The what?
That listen.
Yeah. I think but in this context, yes, they would listen.
For sure.
Yeah, because I agree with you. I would go the same thing, because I would learn a lot from training elite athletes who I then could then pivot into training everyday people as well. Because it's only a year. So imagine how much you'll learn as a coach from training high level elite athletes. Yeah. So I agree with that one. That's a good one. All right, let's get into some more easier ones. Squats or deadlifts?
Deadlifts.
I'll take deadlifts. No, I would take squats. I like squats.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say the Asian squat is like a thing, so
I'm not that Asian. I'm pretty white.
But your blood and your body, yeah.
I do like squatting. I don't know why. There's something about a heavy squat that I just feel like transfers to everything else that I do.
Yeah.
In CrossFit, like I love deadlifts. Deadlifts is probably my second favorite.
It's totally true. It's a more athletic type of movement.
And I just feel like I think also because when I first started at CrossFit, I was better at deadlifts. But I was terrible at squats when I first started CrossFit, like terrible. And then so once I started squatting and I saw that transfer into other movements, especially things like thrusters and the Olympic lifts, I was like, okay, this feels good to be able to stand up weight quickly. And nothing's worse than when you're in the middle of a Metcon doing like squat cleans and being like struggle busting a 155 squat clean up, and you're just like, oh, this is so bad.
Yeah, the thrusters in Lollapalooza that's a great example right there.
Yeah, those were tough. Those were not easy.
But I would rather be better at the squat than the deadlift. But I would rather deadlift than squat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, I would rather be good at squats and do squats. But deadlifts is still a great choice. Would you rather do an early morning grind or a late night session?
Early morning.
Yeah, me too. Get it over with.
Always.
All day, every day. Like late nights, it's also hard for me to fall asleep. I noticed that even if I work out like 4:30 or 5:30 class, that it takes me a while to wind down afterwards. I get kind of hyped. So like
and
the morning.
caffeine. No.
Oh yeah. Luckily I've been backing off on that, except for today. Conditioning workouts or heavy lifting days. This one kind of goes hand in hand with the other ones.
Honestly, like I feel like I'd rather do conditioning workouts, but probably need heavy lifting more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I've actually started off the opposite where I would only want to lift, which kind of worked against me. But I like, especially of lately, doing the conditioning workouts because they're just so much more fun. And like I just like the not necessarily the intensity, but the environment that it breeds when it's like the loud music, the barbells dropping, like kind of like fast transitions and everything. Because sometimes I kind of half fall asleep if I'm lifting. Too much rest in between. All right. Perfect movement mechanics or raw intensity?
Perfect movement mechanics.
I'll take the raw intensity. That's what I would do. Just simply because it's like, well, it can't be that bad, can it?
I think I end up more raw intensity, pushing through things, but ultimately I would like to have perfect mechanics.
I would like perfect mechanics as well.
Actually,
That was
more
actually
efficient.
than I thought.
More efficient, and then it's safer, easier to get into raw intensity if you have the perfect movement mechanics.
It does allow you to get into higher intensity more efficiently as well, because I have noticed that I watched some of my video from Wadapalooza and I was not happy with my squat depth. Like I was holding the standard, but it was very kind of shady in my opinion. So I really worked on my hip mobility ever since then, and surprisingly, I've gotten more efficient with like my thrusters and my squats, and my knees feel better. I'm like, oh, okay, well, and my mechanics have improved, so my positioning's better, and then it ends up making the lift feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
Like that, and then which allows you to sustain higher intensity.
For sure.
So I guess they go hand in hand. One-on-one coaching forever or group energy all day?
One-on-one coaching.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Tell me more about that.
I just like the working with one person. It's more, I guess, intimate, if you will, and it's a lot easier to convey what you want the person to do.
Yeah.
Group classes, it's a good energy, absolutely, but it's more of a kind of scattered energy at times. So I like the one-on-one a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I like the one-on-ones personally because I can get so much more done and in just a week alone with 3 sessions than I can with 5 sessions in a group. I love group training for like you said, like the energy, and we're still getting something in, but I can only have so many touch points with so many people that I can't really spend a lot of time with one person because I have to make sure I spread myself out. With one-on-one, it's like they have me the entire time, which is nice.
The rate of improvement is drastically increased.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, which makes sense for everything. I mean, you have to look at any other sport or discipline that if you get one-on-one tutoring, if you get one-on-one coaching for like another sport like baseball or football or whatever, then of course they're going to improve. Like I can't really think of anyone who's reached the top of their craft without some sort of one-on-one mentorship of some kind.
100% agreed.
You can only keep one.
Okay.
A barbell or the pull-up rig.
Barbell.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take a barbell too, because I can know a pull-up rig you can really only do so many things.
Yeah, I mean, you can still get strong and improve your movement and get conditioned, all of that, but I think the barbell is a lot more versatile.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the barbell, it's like if you give up a barbell, it's like you're giving up so much more. I mean, I can still do bent over rows I can still do pulling actions with the barbell, but as soon as like I give up a barbell for a pull-up rig, I mean, that one was too easy. We should have ended with a harder one. All right, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of the podcast. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you liked that? It was good to have some rapid fire questions and everything.
Absolutely.
So let's get into our first question of the main pieces of the podcast, which is what's your personal why for coaching and the movement and the moment that you knew that this is what you were meant to do?
My personal why is I like to see people go from one place to the next, right? And have some improvement. Also just like people feel better about themselves, in whatever capacity that is. If it's getting more fit, which usually help you mentally, but like emotionally, just being, and even like so with the group classes, like being someone that can help improve the mood of that day. Like on the short term, that's a good why. And then the long term, improve health and fitness.
Yeah, no, and that's I agree with you. It's not easy doing this as well because there's so many times where people I guess what's a better way to say this? Where you have to present something to like an athlete or a member that you're working with that they may not want to hear as a coach, and then having to make those corrections while also balancing their feelings at the same time, which is a very difficult thing to do as a coach.
Yeah.
And then but they kind of go hand in hand in terms of coming to improvement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that there's also like the energy you bring to it. Like if you're trying to tell them like they're doing something wrong and there's a better way to do it, or if they're not quite there, right? You can package it in a way where it's received a lot better.
Yeah.
And
I think what I was referring to earlier was when I first started coaching, it was really hard for me to tell people that they were doing things wrong. Because I was like, I don't want to be mean. And I remember, a mentor telling me, or like another coach telling me, he's like, well, that's your job, dude. It's like your job is to correct them and to make sure they get better. And then obviously, 99% of the time met perfectly fine from people because that's what they're there for. So I remember being a young coach and being afraid of that. And I think a lot of coaches out there today worry more about the feelings rather than actually improving people's movement.
it also comes down to the confidence that you have in delivering the message.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
Yeah, and the more you've been there where they want to be, the more confidence that's going to come off with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. And when you walk into Red Wolf, what's the first thing you want every member to feel from you as a coach?
Well, first I want them to see, like, feel seen, if that's a good way to say it. Like, so just making sure, greet them and then give them good energy, because that's like, ultimately they're coming in for a workout, but also it's a place where you want to feel good, right? And you want to be excited to be there. So I try to be that way. Right?
Yeah.
Be excited, be happy to see them, and and just be happy that they're there and they're improving themselves, and that's how I want people to feel.
Yeah. I like that approach a lot, and it's because it's already hard enough to do fitness. Even if you do like it, there's still days where I don't want to do it. And so coming into an environment where it automatically puts me into a default mode of I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it well and I'm going to give my best effort despite how I feel. That really sets a tone when you first walk into the gym, right? Because I remember as a younger coach too, and I still do this from time to time because I'm not perfect, where you're just kind of like low energy just because you're tired from coaching or something, and someone comes in and then you're still happy to see them, but your energy just isn't there to have the right greeting or the right presence that it should be. And yeah, I mean, small things like that go a long way and that people don't realize.
Yeah, and I try to put a lot of emphasis on that. Like you're saying, that you're coming in to give it your all and do this challenging thing. And I want them to feel like it is doable and you're going to be able to do it. You're going to get through it. And oftentimes you can do it with like a positive attitude, and feel good about doing it.
Yeah. And then that sets the tone for the entire class because if you have those touch points, one person by one person by one person, then everybody has that same exact collective feeling. And then that rubs off on everybody. People always say good vibes and everything, but it's something that takes a lot of effort to sustain and to keep in the gym, because the gym can also be a very toxic environment as well, depending on where you go.
Yeah,
who you're with.
We've probably both experienced that before.
Oh yeah, I've experienced that multiple times in my own gym, at other gyms. Nothing unrecoverable, but definitely wasn't held to the standard that I believe that it should be. And so I'm really happy with how things are now currently. Because just like with anything else, like as a coach or as a gym owner, it's like you make mistakes, you keep people on for too long, or they're just not good fits either as coaches or as members, and that rubs off on people. Like I've had good coaches, I've had bad coaches, I've had good members, I've had bad members, and each time I've had a bad version of one, it's cost me other good members because they didn't like that certain coach or that certain person just in the class. So now we've really learned how to filter that out. So that way we do our best like we can to where everyone can get along, because it really does matter.
Yeah, it can really affect the culture.
Oh, yeah, very, very much so.
Then I wanted to say, caffeine is also a great thing to help with that.
Dude, caffeine is something that I need to cut back on a little bit. But I definitely like it, and there are definitely days where I need it in order to stay in my pet mode. What's one client story that reminds you of why you love this job? And it could be a transformation, could be an accomplishment, could be anything that really stuck with you.
So I wouldn't say I have like a particular like one instance, right? Like I'm more of a like just seeing like that good energy every day. Like I don't like thinking back, I don't really have a particular transformation or person that I think of, right? I just think of how like I myself would want the gym to be, right? And I try to like reciprocate that. So I don't necessarily have like one story. It's more of just like being the best that I could be every day, kind of thing. It doesn't really answer it, but that was what
Try. Do your best.
Okay, so repeat the question.
So what's one client story that reminds you of why you love this job? Or it could be a transformation that stuck with you or anything along those lines.
All right. One client story. Let's see.
Or it could be multiple people who you helped accomplish the exact same thing, because that's part of your expertise.
Okay. Yeah, I like to see, this is multiple people, all right, the development of going from just walking in the door, having no idea what's going on, to being able to sustain that habit for months on end, right? To be able to come to class, to be able to perform the movements with confidence, right? And this is a number of people. Like, but I like that a lot. Like the beginning to being able to sustain your habit and like continue coming to class, continue to improve your performance, right? So I would say there's hundreds of people like that, right? And that's really why I like to do it, is to see people's progress, right?
That's very well said, because progress in and of itself helps you keep going and do this job to your best of your ability, because there's nothing's better than seeing people actually get results. And especially when, like you said earlier, about people who come in they don't really have any idea what to do in the gym, and then give it like 90 days, and then boom, it's like they're veterans in the class, and everybody knows them, they know what to do. It's like they've been there for 10 years. And I think that speaks volumes to your coaching and your coaching style as well.
Well, thanks. And I was going to say that as well. Like that progression is also a lot of development, like on my part, and being able to convey the message more efficiently, right? So I think those two things combined are what keeps me going, is the development of people, and then my development as well as a coach.
Nice. What kind of development do you think has the biggest impact on you as a coach?
What kind of development? What do you mean?
So what specifically do you feel like has helped you, or like through your development throughout your whole history as a coach, what have you gone through that you think had the biggest impact on your coaching style today?
I would say just my understanding of what a movement is comprised of, right? Of like the key points in certain movements, like, because I really like the biomechanics of stuff. So I guess building my understanding with biomechanics, because then that kind of extrapolates out into other parts of fitness, right? The better you can move your body, the better your fitness is overall going to be, the more efficient you can be. So I'd say understanding more of the biomechanics of movements has been probably my biggest development, I would say.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and that's definitely, I can see that transferring over to how well you work with people and how specific you can get, because you have a really good eye for identifying a fault or something that could be improved very quickly, and then being able to communicate that with someone to where they can make the correction within, a few seconds. So yeah, that's very impressive on what you can do there.
Well, thank you. And it's kind of like so I just have like this pattern in my mind of what any one movement should be. And then when you see someone do it, like those things kind of jump out at you, the faults in the pattern. So that's probably been, like I said, my biggest development is understanding those biomechanics of just how a human needs to move. And then each movement has certain kind of prerequisites that need to be met in order to complete it well. And so when those things are breaking down, that's like, it just jumps out at you.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. So you have like a running checklist in your head of this has to happen before this, and there's a timeline to it on or a step-by-step process, which is very key to an experienced coach, because if you don't have that process and you immediately jump to solving a problem without having a proper progression to solve that problem, then a lot of times either that can end up in injury, it can end up frustrating the person themselves, because the exercise or the movement you're having them do is way far too advanced that won't build one off the other. And on top of that, it can be frustrating as a coach when you don't know, when you can advance someone to one step, but you know that there's also a step in between that you haven't learned yet as a coach.
Mm-hmm. And then also going back to a couple questions ago, like having the confidence to tell that person that they need to do X exercise before Y, and the reasons why they need to do X before Y is going to be received a lot better, right? And they understand it's for their greater good, right? And it's going to get them there eventually, but it's just like a matter of patience at that time.
Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. Yeah, and patience is something that that's always the hardest part. Both for
more of that.
Yeah, just for the member and the coach. I remember as a coach in my early days getting frustrated that people didn't get it, and I also remember my frustration learning things, and always having these expectations that I should be learning it faster to where I communicate better with the coach. So, yeah, so much has happened since starting coaching. It's such a complex thing. Like, it's so simple, but yet it's so complex at the same time.
Yeah, there's so many layers to it.
Too many layers.
Yeah.
And the only way you can really get like that is to have hands-on experience doing it, and doing it a lot.
and making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, which is the unfortunate part.
Mm-hmm.
And
gotta happen.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny how coaching and just fitness in general kind of go hand in hand, to where you have to suck at it at first. I mean, I guess this can go for anything, but I mean, we always suck at everything at first, and then when we get accumulating enough reps of something, that's when we start improving and we start getting that feedback. And the more you do something, the more feedback you get. So, how do you tailor training for different fitness levels while still keeping everyone progressing?
So it kind of comes back to those movement patterns, right? If you can see where the movement pattern breaks down, there's always an exercise that's gonna meet the proper amount of intensity. Right. So it just comes down to, like you said, having that experience of done it before, and then also having the knowledge of like, hey, this part of the movement's breaking down, right? So we need to come back to this exercise, and everyone's at different levels. So, I mean, there's going to be an exercise for them to do that'll be to like a high capacity, right? That maybe for someone else would be super easy, but there's always something for that person to do that'll improve the thing they need to improve.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that one. And what's one mistake that you see people make in their workouts that could be fixed with better coaching?
Just going too fast. Going too fast. When they have some sort of movement pattern breaking down, trying to speed through it, or just not slowing down the pattern. Like, that's the most important thing. If you're not getting something, you have to slow it down. Because with speed or load or intensity, you're going to always kind of go back to a default mode of the way you move. And in order to change something, you have to slow it down.
Yeah.
You have to give your body, your mind some time to make the change. And when you just kind of go through it, speed through it, like Olympic lifting is one of the biggest things. I mean, gymnastics too. It's everything. But
so it's just weightlifting, gymnastics. Oh, actually, let me take that back. Everything.
So I'll just give the example with weightlifting, right? So like when you're transitioning from knees to hip, right? Like a lot of people just jump with the bar from the knee because it feels more powerful, right? And so what needs to happen is slowing down the movement pattern so you can ingrain that, like, the bar has to come into your hips. You have to keep the bar close, rather than just completing the movement, because with the speed, the intensity, or if you're lifting above your means, you're never going to get that pattern needs to happen. You know, so like that's just one example. Or like with gymnastics, a lot of times it's the hollow position that people don't quite understand, and they could still do kipping pull-ups and all that stuff. But if you made your hollow position stronger, you would have more awareness in that position and be able to apply it to like a kipping pull-up. Right.
No, I love that hollow position example. Especially with anything with core activation in general, is that, you know, squeezing your butt, squeezing your quad, squeezing your midline. Same thing. It just even comes down to how you're gripping the bar. Like all these small things really do add up. And you're right. A lot of people want to rush through it and they want to skip steps, or they, or just as CrossFitters, right, is that you're used to seeing everyone just go super hard and intense all the time, when really there's so much that goes on behind the scenes and in the background of dialing in the mechanics.
Because you need to, like I was saying, you need to slow it down. And CrossFit is about going like 4 times, do as many as you can. So that's great, and that's, a lot of people can do it. But to improve it, sometimes you have to take a step back and be more efficient, right? The hollow, like we were saying, is a great example. Like there's the shape, but then there's how you do the shape, right? And a lot of people just get the shape of like, that looks like a hollow. It's pretty good. But then there's like micro details that can create more efficiency. Like if you see a gymnast, their hollow is freaking perfect, right? And there's a lot more that goes into that. They've been training since they were a child, and holding this tension in their core for hours on end. Right. To be able to do those different routines. Right. And so when we're doing kipping pull-ups in class, like I would say the hollow isn't as effective as it could be if we spend more time like just learning that position. But a lot of people don't want to just sit in hollow all day.
Yeah, it's boring.
You know?
Yeah. And then
It's better to get up on the bar and let it rip.
Exactly. And take this as a lesson, if you're listening to this, everybody, is that you're gonna have to do some boring stuff in order to get better. I'm sorry to say it, but there's gonna be some stuff that's not as fun or is not as sexy that you are gonna have to do in order to learn to do the fun stuff, I guess, like you could say.
No, 100%. Yeah. And like even improving like joint mechanics, right? That stuff's super, super boring. But like if your overhead position is suffering, like you need to fix some things as far as how your body moves and gets into different shapes, right? And that stuff takes a lot of time and is, like you said, very boring.
It's extremely boring. Like I like what you said specifically about the overhead position, because that's what I've been working on lately. Yeah, it's very boring. I hate it. But I'm seeing small improvements. Every time I put a barbell overhead or go into a handstand position, I feel like I'm in a much better stack position with my shoulders more over my hips, and it's more comfortable too. And so, which is improving my workouts. And also, it's nice being confident in a workout, knowing I can get into better positions to where the movement itself actually feels easier. So it's worth investing the boring time in order to have the fun time. So,
and it's something that you can do every day, right? To improve your overhead position. It's these little exercises that you can do 10 to 15 minutes a day, and you will see those benefits, like you're saying.
Yeah. And it's funny how all this stuff, like you said, doesn't take that much time, like 15 minutes a day. It's just not fun. And so people skip it all entirely, even though it's not really, when you look at it, like most of the mechanical stuff or the small stuff we need to be working on isn't difficult to do, and it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's in terms of time per day. But in terms of time over the course of like a month or 2 months, yeah, it's going to take some time, but is it worth it? Absolutely. It's just not fun.
What is your favorite exercise to improve your overhead position?
So lately I've been doing the one with the plate overhead, either laying on the foam roller, but lately I've been doing one where I put an ab mat underneath the back of my shoulders, right, like upper back, and then I'll do the same thing, but I'll have the plate completely push me down to where I'm flat on the ground, and I bring my rib cage down.
Nice.
And that one's more to where once that feels easier, then I'm going to move back to the foam roller. But I just want to put myself into a perfect overhead position first.
You're taking the step back.
Yeah.
and then you're taking a step back so that you can take further steps forward.
Yeah, and it was mainly because I wasn't holding the stretch long enough with the foam roller. It's just too uncomfortable because I'm pretty tight overhead. And so I was like, I'm going to do this so I can hold it longer. If I hold it longer in this position, the faster it'll improve. And the faster I improve, that means the more advanced I can get later on down the road.
100%. And that's like a great example of what we're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not fun. It's really boring just to lay there with my arms over my head with a plate on it.
Then knowing the why, right, is what's gonna make you do it.
Yeah, and it's worth it. Like when, especially even if I'm not doing a workout that day that's going overhead, when I do feel like it opens up, and I'm like, okay, well, it was better than last week. Then it's all worth it because I know it'll be worth it long term as well.
And then having that daily input, right, is telling your body like, hey, I can do this position now. And so that's why the importance of doing it daily. Like even if, like you said, not doing an overhead exercise that day, it's still important to do it so that your nervous system, your body's like, okay, I can do this. And then you're able to do it with confidence.
Yeah. And one thing I found that when you do one high impact activity or one high impact stretch specifically, like just using this for an example, since it helps open up my overhead position and opens up my lats, is that my front rack position by default got better as well. So it's like I'm improving multiple things at once. And I think that's what people also lose sight of when they're doing some of these boring things, is like, if you improve your hollow position, your midline will get better for kipping, but then your midline will also be stronger for like GHD sit-ups, handstand walks, holding your core positioning in a front squat or a clean or a snatch. Like it's going to transfer over to 10 different other things that you didn't even think of, even though this one thing may be kind of boring. So with my overhead position stretch, it's like, yes, I'm specifically working my overhead positioning to improve it for like snatch and jerks and handstands. But a good byproduct of that is the fact that my front rack has gotten better because it still opens up my lats, and my lats are tight. So it also improves my pull-ups and the kip on my toes to bar because my head can come through further because my lats aren't super tight. So there's a multitude of other things that this one simple stretch or exercise does for me that amplifies into 10 other exercises that I do, which helps improve it. So I think people lose sight of that when they do something that's quote unquote boring.
Yeah, and so that's a good choice right there. That exercise.
It is a good choice. Yeah, it is boring. I should probably do it later. I haven't done it today yet. How does personal training at Red Wolf go beyond just a typical count your rep session?
Oh, it's so much more valuable. So much more valuable. So the count your rep session, I feel like is great for your fitness, right? Your metabolic stuff going on in your body. But one-on-one is taking your specific weaknesses, the things that you need to work on and probably don't, and improving on those. And just like that overhead exercise, right? We're as the coach leading that, you're going to give them exercises that aren't just going to improve that one thing. It's going to be an all-encompassing type of improvement.
Yeah.
And that's where the experience of going through all these exercises and realizing which ones help what and which ones are more valuable, and then being able to pass that on to your one-on-one people, like that's the value in one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. It allows you to go so much deeper in a one-on-one session, and then like we touched on this earlier, but making those subtle improvements and then actually able to watch several reps of that improvement to make sure that it actually sticks. Because a lot of times in like a group class, like you'll make a lot of improvements on people, but then you have to go make different improvements on someone else. So you're kind of have to have a checklist and remember of who you're going back to and what they're working on. And then making sure that they're still doing it. Whereas when you're working one-on-one with someone, you can just hammer something over and over and over again until you can pretty much clear it up in almost one session.
Yeah, and that's what it takes to improve that thing is hundreds, if not thousands of reps. And when you first feel it the first time, right? A lot of times, especially in like a CrossFit workout, you're gonna lose it a little bit because it's a new feeling, right? So having the coach there for not only that rep that you improved, but then the next and the next and the next is super valuable, because without doubt, like sure, that next rep is really good, but unless you have now mastered that after one rep, you're gonna degrade a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what happens in the classes a lot of times, right? Is you do make that improvement, but you're going on to another person, and now that person felt something, but then the next rep, they didn't quite feel it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoa, what happened? What was I doing? That's something I hear a lot is like, oh, I felt what you're talking about, but I don't know exactly what it is that's making me feel that way. Like, so with different movements, right? So then by you being one-on-one, you're able to go, all right, that felt better. Now this is why that felt better. So now this is what you're shooting for on the next one. And then, oh, that one felt better. Good. Like that's what you're shooting for is these are the reasons why that felt better. Right. Rather than just like that felt better and then moving on. And they're like, okay, what was it that made that feel better? And then they're always trying to like achieve that felt better type of feeling.
Right.
You know? And then if you're one-on-one, then you can reinforce it every time. And when it's reinforced, it becomes stronger.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's very well said. And yeah, I remember when I first started CrossFit, I didn't think I had to do that many reps in order to get better. And I didn't have any feedback to get better either because I started on my own. Like we didn't like there wasn't a ton of coaches back then. There weren't a ton of kind of CrossFit gyms back then. And so the issue was I had to try and figure it out myself. And so it took me forever to learn almost everything, just from videos or just, from the little coaching I could get. And you're right, the rate of improvement is so much slower that if you don't have that kind of, at least some sort of one-on-one attention, it really does help. And I've gotten one-on-one coaching, and that's helped improve not only my programming, but on how I identify movement patterns as well. Like for example, one thing one of my coaches told me, which was really, really eye-opening to me, and I still apply this today, especially when it comes to identifying weaknesses. He was like, so Matt, you see a snatch. I see a pull, a wide overhead position, and then an overhead squat. And so he's like, when I'm watching this, I'm saying, what's the most weakest part right now? Is it the pull off the ground? Is it the speed? Is it the hip contact? Is it their overhead position unstable? Is their midline unstable? Now, when they squat, are their knees, like, how are their glutes? How are their hamstrings? How are their quads? How is everything activating? What is the weakest point that we can identify in the snatch and improve that specifically? So that really helped me identify what was wrong with people that we had to work on and emphasize the most. So for example, for me personally, he identified that, hey, like your overhead position is pretty stable. You have a good squat, but the issue is that when you first pull off the ground, it takes you forward, and it takes you forward almost every time we go over 90%. So he's like, we have to really focus on just nailing down and getting you stronger with the first pull off the ground. Everything from the floor to the knee, we're gonna be working on that for the next 4 weeks. And so it's crazy how that was like a light bulb moment for me as a coach to being like, oh my God, that is so specific that I didn't know. I just thought you had to snatch more to get better at snatching, but he just had me doing a ton of pulls, segmented deadlifts, pulls, and then guess what? My snatch went up, because that was the only missing puzzle piece towards improving my snatch, was just that first pull from the ground to the knee. And when that was improved, everything else improved.
And how many mistakes would you have had to make on your own in order to figure that out?
I don't think I would have ever figured it out.
So it just took someone that's been there, has seen it many, many times, and told you, hey, this is the problem. Right. So like that's again, that's the value of having a mentor, having a one-on-one coach, is they've been there so many times before that it can be identified right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you didn't have that, you'd have to make so many mistakes first before improving it.
And who knows if you would even identify that in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you could improve other things that you think it is, but a lot of times what we think it is usually isn't it. It's usually the thing that we're avoiding, or something that we just lack knowledge on. Like they don't even
know.
Yeah. Because there was a time before I started, when I was just doing CrossFit and he wasn't even introduced to more specialty Olympic weightlifting. I had no idea what a first pull was. Is that our second, third pull? What is that? It's just a snatch,
Just ripping it off.
Yeah, it's going to ground overhead. Who cares how you do it? And then now it's now when you have all these different subtleties and all the details down, then you're able to identify what the problem is, and then you can fix it very quickly. Because imagine doing CrossFit for years and then not being able to identify what the real problem is. And a lot of times you need someone else who's either more experienced or who has a really good eye for movement.
100%.
If someone's been stuck or plateaued for months, what's your approach to getting them results fast?
So if you've been stuck for months, it's probably very similar to your snatch, right? It's just you don't understand the movement or the workout as much as you should, right? So it's just about taking a step back, right? And then fixing the the things that you're not fixing, right? Like, because there's always going to be something. If you're plateauing, something's going on. Usually, what I see when people are plateauing is there's some sort of like injury, right? Or just something that's super lacking, right? Whether that be like the way you move your body, right? Like the mechanics of the movement, something's lacking a lot, and it's lacking behind other things that you should be paying attention to that.
Yeah.
So just by paying attention to the thing that's lacking the most is going to get you through a plateau.
Mm-hmm. And how would someone identify what they're lacking the most? What's one tactical thing you can give them that, if you're struggling with something, here's how I would identify it as a coach.
So it just keeps coming back to slowing it down, like seeing exactly where that problem is happening. So with the snatch, because I think having a specific exercise to talk about for the example is probably better. So like with the snatch, right? Like I can lift X amount of weight over my head, but I just stop right there. So there's something going on earlier on in the movement that you're not being like technically correct, right? So it was the first pull, right? So then you'd see that and then break down and just work on that thing, right? Do a lot of first pulls, go lighter and make sure that that's happening, right? So it's always going to be kind of like take a step back, slow it down, and then fix that problem. And that's what I do with everybody.
Yeah.
Is if it's, hey, I can't string together pull-ups, right? It has something to do with the positioning you're in while you're doing the pull-up. Like something's not going right. So you got to take a step back, make sure that you're going through all the prerequisite positions, movements before you do the big movement.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Just break it down.
Yeah.
Just
break it down.
The movement.
And if you're not good at that or you're not experienced with that, and I always say this, even regardless of your experience level, definitely have a coach take a look at you and identify that, because they're going to be able to do it a lot faster. And even if you are correct, it always helps to have someone who has an outside perspective to confirm that it is correct, or that one thing that you need to work on is in fact the thing that you need to work on.
Yeah, so you're going to have a lot more confidence in building that skill, or if you're doing it right, you're going to have more confidence in your ability.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's well said right there. And in your eyes, what separates Red Wolf from any other gym out there?
So I think Red Wolf is very detailed, right? Like a lot of gyms are kind of cookie cutter, right? I think like programming comes to mind, right? A lot of gyms use like someone else's programming. As with Red Wolf, it's more of like, what do the members need? Are we lacking in this area? Well, let's work on that area, right? That's one big thing about Red Wolf that I really enjoy, right? Is it's more you can just feel the energy behind it, right? We're more detailed, more concerned with the members improving than like just like getting new members type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you there, because I care a lot more about keeping everybody happy than I care about getting more people in the door.
And I don't think that's super common.
Well, I think a big problem, and I don't necessarily think all CrossFit gyms deal with this, but I know that other gyms that aren't CrossFit gyms definitely struggle with this a lot, that are a little more watered down. I wouldn't say watered down, but they're just not as specific. Like they have like a generic program. I'm talking like an F45 or Orange Theory. They have like a higher churn just simply because it's kind of like a novelty thing for people, and then they churn out because it's kind of one dimensional. Because none of them have original programming. They all get it from the corporate office.
It's not like they're going to improve their movement mechanics, or make sure that they're doing the movement the best that person can do it. It's more like, okay, we're doing this for 45 seconds, resting, doing this for 45 seconds. And I don't think that they're necessarily concerned with how well someone is performing. more that they're just like doing it.
Yeah, more than they're just moving around and getting a sweat on.
Mhm.
And that only lasts for so long. Like so many people, I mean, for some people, they'll stick with it for a while, but at some point you're going to plateau in your fitness, and some people are okay with that. Some people aren't. And at some point in your fitness journey, the more fit you get, even if it's just a little bit fit, a little bit fitter than you were the year before, you're going to start needing some more specific guidance on your training, because at the end of the day, like if you're not improving, you're going to be getting worse. Like, I mean, and some people do. Some people just want to move around and they just want to sweat, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, long term, it's always, I'm the kind of person who I want to work with people who want to keep progressing, and I want to keep progressing. I never want to be stagnant. I always want to be improving.
Yeah, well, I think there's only improving or not improving, right? As humans, we're not just this way. It's either you're going this way or this way.
Yeah, even though it may seem like you're staying stagnant, you're doing one slightly up or down. It's very slight to where you think you're staying stagnant, but you're doing one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Very valid point. What do you think makes the Red Wolf community different, and why do you think people stay long term?
So I think just going back to like caring about people progressing, I think that's felt throughout the gym. And then I also think that the coaches do a good job of making everyone feel welcome and making them feel as though like we do care about them improving, right? Like we have these touch points with people. We constantly check in with them to make sure that things are going well, that they feel good about their fitness, that they're improving in workouts. And I think that is a super important thing when it comes to Red Wolf.
Yeah.
I think we do a good job of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have nothing else to say to that. Nothing else to say. Last question here. Well, not really a question, but I want you to finish the sentence for me. So if someone was on the fence about starting their fitness journey today or with Red Wolf, they should know that ...
So they should know that there's definitely a way to improve, and that it just takes the proper guidance, right? If you feel lost, it's because you probably don't have the guidance that you need in order to get to the next level, right? And you just need to be in the right place, right? And so what I'd say is, like, by coming into a gym, and like Red Wolf obviously is going to be a great place for people to improve their fitness and improve their life, but like just starting, getting it going, and yeah, just starting the fitness habit of whatever it is, like that's super important. Like just do it, like get into it. You're going to feel better. Your life's going to be better, because as you get more healthy, like everything gets better,
That's a great point. And yeah, I mean, people should know that it's not going to be easy either. It's going to be hard, and it doesn't matter how long you wait. It gets harder the longer you wait.
Yeah, it's just like that. You're either improving or declining, right? And so by starting now, the improvement is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if you're not doing anything.
Yeah. If you're not doing anything, you're gonna improve at a great rate. But if you keep putting it off, then it's not gonna end well.
No better time to start than now.
Yeah. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now. So awesome, Aaron. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Any final words of wisdom you want to share with our audience before we wrap things up?
Any words of wisdom? Do I have words of wisdom? Well, for the people listening, yeah, just, this is going to sound very cliche, but, stay positive. The best days are ahead, and start moving your body around. If you're already at a gym, take more time to improve the things you need to work on. Right. And because if you work on the things that are your weakest, everything's going to get stronger.
Yeah.
I don't know how wise that was, but I guess that's what I'll leave it with.
Well, it's cliche for a reason because it's true. I mean, people wouldn't keep on repeating that if it wasn't true. I mean, I think people are always looking for some magic bullet when really it's just 100 golden BBs, just one small step at a time.
100 golden BBs.
Yeah.
There's the wisdom. Okay, so they got it at least.
The only reason
Well, it's 100 golden BBs.
It's 100 golden BBs. Because I think that everyone's like, and you know, with the silver bullet being like some sort of shortcut or some sort of detox or diet or special training program, when really it's just a matter of small, tiny habits that add up over time that you just work on one at a time. Just same thing with like an exercise or a movement you're trying to improve. You just improve one small thing at a time, and then you accumulate all of them, you put them all together, and then boom, you have a finished product. But it takes a lot of just one small step.
Yeah.
So. Well, thank you so much for listening. If this was helpful, do me a favor and leave us a review so that way we know to make more content just like this. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and nailed it.